So I just got done playing through Tormented Souls this weekend, and I am fully hyped for Halloween. If you guys remember last year, I played through a whole bunch of PlayStation Vita games that were spooky themed all through the month of October. So I think I'm going to do something similar this year because I had so much fun with that. Now, of course, this year it's not going to be all PlayStation Vita games, but we will squeeze a few in there. For now, though, I am excited to share my thoughts on Tormented Souls. In this game, you play as Caroline Walker. After receiving a letter from the Wildberger Hospital and a Polaroid picture of two girls, you begin to have nightmares. Pretty soon, it's all you can think about. You decide to head to the hospital in search of answers. The next thing you can remember is waking up in a bathtub, completely naked, in the abandoned Wildberger Hospital. You have no recollection of how you ended up here or why you seem to be missing one of your eyeballs. If you're a fan of classic survival horror games like Silent Hill or Resident Evil, then there is a good chance you'll love Tormented Souls. At least that's the way I felt. Admittedly, I would have had a hard time going back and playing some of those older PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 style horror games, but Tormented Souls manages to capture the best parts from those older games and modernize it in a way that makes it very accessible. So this game uses fixed camera positions, a classic technique which adds to the theatrical intensity and horror of the game. So many times I wished that I could reposition the cameras to get a better look of what might be creeping around the corner. So this may sound weird, but those fixed cameras really work well for this type of game to increase the tension and suspense. Also, as a nod to classic survival horror games, you do have the option of controlling your character with tank controls. That is, left and right to rotate your characters, and up to move forward and down to move back. It's a really nice touch, even though most people, including myself, will likely be playing using the modern directional movement. On consoles, this is as simple as switching between the D-pad and analog stick. Now, this is a survival horror game, so you'll want to carefully manage your ammo and medical supplies. These will be scattered throughout the mansion in limited supply. Oh yes, did I forget to mention? The abandoned hospital is a repurposed mansion. Because of course it is. Classic horror flows through these veins. There are several logic puzzles to solve as you make your way through the corridors and blocked passages. This sometimes involves combining or manipulating items to better fit the situation at hand. For weapons, you first get a crowbar to beat down evil, and shortly after that you get your first ranged weapon in the form of a power nailer that you get from a priest. How badass is that? Now eventually you will assemble a makeshift shotgun and other weapons to dispatch the evil that lurks in the darkness. I really like the graphics in this game. The backgrounds look great, especially with the way that light casts shadows and reflections throughout the environment. The weakest area here is probably in the human models, especially the priest. His skin looks a little bit too plastic-like, and his wrinkles don't really have enough definition. The main character model definitely looks better than that. Her hair could use a little bit of work, but I love how her dress flows freely. And yes, this is me trying to flip her dress up in front of the Jesus statue. I know, I'm going to hell. It was just a really good camera angle. The creatures in this game all look perfectly horrific, as they should. Now, for saving your progress, you will need to find blank tapes and use those with a tape recorder, which are found in various rooms throughout the mansion. This technique of limiting the number of times you can save your progress was used in classic Resident Evil games, and it's something I didn't really like in the past, but have grown to appreciate. This adds weight to death. In a game where fear is an important tool, it's necessary that we don't ever feel too comfortable. But by giving you a limited amount of tapes to find, it still gives you the freedom to choose when to save your game. The sound in this game is expertly implemented. moments of tension are properly highlighted, and the spatial audio clues you in to where enemies are lurking. So if you have any trouble with that, I recommend playing this with headphones on. I love the music in this game. There is a lot of moody piano music and atmospherics that really capture the environment perfectly, and I was actually surprised at how many times during my playthrough where I was hearing something new. Voice acting, on the other hand, sounds pretty corny. Here's a few examples just to give you an idea.
What the hell is going on here?
My child, you are pale. What happened to you?
A person in a wheelchair with knives in his hands was chasing me.
Oh, it's you. Don't you remember me? I'm the town priest. We met here in the chapel only a couple of days ago.
What? I'm sorry. I don't remember you. I certainly don't remember coming here before.
Now, I'm not sure if this was intentional, but for me personally, and admittedly I am a bit weird, it actually added to my experience. I felt a bit more nostalgia for it, like it was adding to the authenticity of a classic survival horror experience. But it also added to the creepiness. When people sound a bit unnatural in a setting like this, it can be very unnerving. As for playtime, it took me about 10 hours to roll credits, but playtimes can vary greatly depending on your playstyle. Tormented Souls is available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Steam. It's also coming soon to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. MSRP is only $20 US for the digital version, which is an absolute steal for this game. Otherwise, I did see a physical edition for the PlayStation 5, which includes some extra goodies for $40 US. Factoring in everything with the price, I rate Tormented Souls a 9 out of 10. I think even if you aren't a fan of the classic survival horror genre, this might be a good entry point. As I've said, it does a lot to modernize it, and with the price, it's hard to go wrong here. Anyway guys, that's gonna do it for today. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I will see you later.